Hello, everyone. This is Helena Hart, and today we are so lucky to have Dr. Diana Kirschner, who is a best-selling author of the amazing book Love in 90 Days. She's also a PBS love expert, and today we're going to be talking about a really important topic, and that is how to protect yourself against feeling rejected or abandoned. If a man is ghosting, breadcrumbing, or withdrawing or pulling away. So Dr. Diana, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me on my channel today.
Thank you so much, Helen. It's just fantastic to be with you. I love your work. Love it.
Amazing. I'm just making sure everything's going. Looks like we're great. So if you guys have questions for myself or Dr. Diana, feel free to type that into the live chat, and we'll make sure to get to as many of those as we can. So let's talk a little bit before we jump in. Let's talk a little bit about ghosting or breadcrumbing. This is something that happens all the time. I hear from so many women every day, literally, who are experiencing this. So what are some of the challenges you see women facing when it comes to this topic?
Well, I mean, it's constant. This is crazy with having the apps and having so many different sites going on. What happens is that there's just a constant turnover, and this crazy. It's kind of like the guys often feel like they can look at their phones and almost be playing a video game, where they're just amusing themselves. They're like, let's see how many, women like them, or how many women they like, that kind of thing. The reality is, on an app, 49% of the people who express any interest at all disappear on you. It's a given.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that means 50%, basically 50% are going to disappear on you. So the main thing is to not take that personally, absolutely not take it personally. When somebody disappears on you, starts pulling back and doing breadcrumbing, and then maybe ghosts you, you want to absolutely not take that personally, because it is not about you. It is about whatever the hell's going on with the guy, right? Whether he's just gaming around, he's passing time, he's just, he has some other shtick going on, and it has nothing to do with you, because you're in a situation now where this is common, this is normal, this is happening to everyone. This is happening to everyone. There are celebrities, and I have worked with celebrities, who have people disappear on them too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've worked with, models, singers, and, people even in other countries who are, well-known, beautiful, gorgeous, successful women who are still experiencing this. So it's just across the board. And by the way, everyone, make sure to stay till the end of this video, because Dr. Diana is going to share an amazing exercise. She's going to take us through this exercise live to help you really feel confident and protect yourself against feeling abandoned or rejected, no matter what a man is doing or not doing. And if you're familiar with my work, I am all about that. So thank you guys so much. Let me just say hi to everyone. Really, we got a lot of people watching live already. Claudia, Christina, Dora, Lynn, Suzanne, Rose, Riley, everybody. Has this ever happened to you? We would love to hear your experiences with this. Have you ever had a man come on strong at the beginning, only to have him pull away or start breadcrumbing you? Any questions you have for us, we would love to get to that. So yeah, what do you have a woman do? I know you've worked with a lot of really high profile people who, if they're experiencing this over and over, what's like the first thing you would have them do?
Okay, the first thing that they have to do is make up their mind that they're going to be casually seeing 3 guys. They're going to casually date 3 guys, if not more. Sometimes there's even 6 in the running, right? Based on who's appearing and who's not appearing. That's number one. You do not want to get attached to anybody, and I don't care how fantastic he feels at the beginning, how hot he looks at the beginning. I don't care what's going on at the beginning, right, where you're ending each other's sentences, maybe if you're talking, right, or you're texting back and forth and you can feel it, the tremendous energy. I don't care how good it is. You got to keep looking around for other people. You have to keep looking around for other people, no matter what. And that goes to even when you start seeing someone, even when you start actually going out with them, spending time with them. I really, really, really advise people to be on what I call a dating program of 3. And that is, they're going to see 3 people casually, and you're going to avoid having sex. You can have kissing and canoodling, but you're going to avoid really coming together and making that oxytocin drug, which is the bonding hormone, right? The bonding hormone that comes, you know, really comes on to you. It's like a drug if you're really getting too involved with somebody too fast.
I totally agree. I mean, I always say like the best 4 words I could ever tell women to protect themselves from this is keep your options open until you, right? Keep your options open, because I can't tell you how many women they commit themselves immediately to a man, you know, and he comes on strong at first. He says all these things and I think he means them. I don't think he's lying, but then when the newness of the situation wears off, all those good feeling neurotransmitters kind of wear away, then he's hit with the reality of the situation, like, oh, maybe I'm not ready for this kind of serious relationship, where the woman is totally invested, totally in love. Do you see that happening as well?
Absolutely, all the time. Women are much more sensitive, much more emotional, and much more, you know, attaching to someone, you know, right away. And this makes us vulnerable. This makes us incredibly vulnerable, especially now with everything that's going on, with people disappearing. 50% of the people are going to disappear on you. You know, just knowing that statistic, you want to be savvy, you want to be smart, you want to be cautious, right? And what I like to tell women is be the Bachelorette. You know that show? Let me tell you, anybody can be the Bachelorette. Honestly, you just got to get your mojo going, you know, your own little mojo, your own energy going. But be the Bachelorette, you know, where she's kind of on the mountain and the guys are all there at her feet and they're all kind of trying to get some attention.
I totally agree. Yeah, one of my favorite clients of all time was 71 years old. She lived in a small town. She was, just like you said, stuck on one guy who was not doing the job. And I got her online dating. I got her to open herself up. And she was like amazed at how many available men were out there and wanted to date her. It was, and I've just seen that happen over and over and over. It doesn't matter how old you are or where you live. So how long would you suggest that a woman do this? Keep her options open and not get invested? Or like, what's that point where she might give a guy an exclusive shot?
Okay, I want to see at least 2 months of consistently improving contact. And I do mean at least 2 months. That means you're getting closer, you're opening up to each other, you're feeling more and more at home with each other. He's sharing his space with you. He's introducing you to his friends, to his family. Things are coming together. He may be saying the L word or the E word, exclusivity. We want to see at least 2 months of consistently improving contact. And when we see that, then you could consider becoming exclusive. You could consider really becoming sexually involved. Obviously, safe sex is very important when you start out with anybody until you're both tested. But you know, that's what you want to do. You want to wait, you want to protect yourself, and then you can go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I always say you can't really tell what a guy is going to really do for the long term and until after a few months in, right? Where he's consistent, he's following through with his actions, he's actually escalating his efforts, right? Because it's a really common thing. Let me just check in with everyone real quick, if you don't mind. Everyone is saying, yes, this keeps happening to me. Yes, this happened recently. I don't know what to do. Oh yeah, that happened to me. Yeah, really common. I don't know a woman on this planet who hasn't had this happen. Rose, right? Yeah. Rose says, because of you, I just started dating again. Now I feel like I'm doing this the correct way. Amazing. Yes. I love it. Wow, that helps me not feel bad when it happens, it being so common. Let's see. Rose says, I love it. I'm the Bachelorette. For me, he agreed to exclusivity and commitment, even though he wants space. Oh yes, I've had this happen. Best thing to do is walk away. Okay. So you guys are getting this. I love it. I love it. There are over 100 people watching live. So if you guys have any specific questions for us, we'll try to get to as many of those as possible. I have a question, actually. What would you advise a woman to do where, let's say it's before that 2-month period and the guy is asking for exclusivity? Is there something you would have her say to him that doesn't like shut down his masculine initiative, but also like lets him know that she'd rather take her time and take things slowly?
Absolutely. What I like is for her to be incredibly validating to the guy, which is going to be captivating to him. So she says something real like, you know, I haven't laughed like this with anybody, Larry. Anybody. I'm telling you, I haven't had this much fun since forever. You're amazing. I mean, I can't imagine enjoying myself with anybody as much as you. But I wanted to let you know that I'm taking things slow. This time around in dating, I'm taking things slow. So that's just the way it's got to be. But as I say, I couldn't imagine liking anyone as much as you, right? So this is a 3-part sandwich. The first part is you're incredibly validating to the guy, and it's real. You're not blowing smoke. You pick out something that you really like about him, right? You tell him. Number 2, you tell him the bad news, which is, you know, you're taking things slow. He's going to have to hang in there, and he's going to have to win you. Remember, we're doing a bachelorette, right? The bachelorette. She tells the guy she's not ready to give a rose. She's not ready to give a rose to everybody, right? And then number 3, you're going to give the positive validation again, right? So what that does is, if it's a winner guy, he's going to want to win you. If it's a winner guy, he's going to say, no problem, I'm going to hang in there. He's not going to feel like you're shutting him out, you see, because you've been very validating. You've been very kind of flirty and engaging, but you are setting your boundary to protect yourself. And this is the main thing, that you need to set your boundary to protect yourself. And it also is a big message that you're worth it, right? That you're not easy to get. You have some value. You have high value.
Absolutely.
I actually like that said on the second date.
Oh, wow. So if he's coming on strong, yeah, to like let him know it feels great getting to know you, and you know here's what I'm looking for. And until that happens, it feels good to take our time and really get to know each other. I always have clients say something like that, depending on the situation. Of course, yeah, we had a great question in the live chat. Someone asking, he says he wants to marry me, but he also is breadcrumbing me at the same time. Mm-hmm. From my perspective, I always say, if a man's words and actions don't match up, watch his actions, like watch what he's doing. I'd love to hear your perspective on that, though.
Absolutely. The actions are everything. Words are meaningless without actions. And in fact, when you see that disconnect between words and actions, basically, you're being played. You're being played. The guy's probably a player, and you want to move away from him. You want to move away from that situation, because you will be putting yourself in danger of heartbreak. You'll be putting yourself in danger of sitting waiting for a text that never comes, for a date that never comes. And you want to say no thank you and get back to being the bachelorette, which is who you really are.
I love that idea so much. Something I see, and there's a couple questions in the chat like this, and this is what I see a lot, where women will come to me and they've already kind of agreed to be exclusive with the guy, yes. Right? They've already glued themselves to him in a sense, and now he's not really contacting her as much as she would like, and she feels stuck. Like, I have this boyfriend, but he's not really giving me what I need. Do you have any advice for women in that situation?
Yeah, well, there's basically 2 ways you can handle it. One is you can have straight talk, right? And you can have straight talk where you say, listen, I would really love it if we had more, a more regular time together, because that way I could plan my calendar, and that kind of thing. But if you're not able to do that, I'm not sure where things are going to go with us. So it's kind of like straight talk, and you're giving him a little warning, right? And the other thing you can do is to just pull away, to actually pull away, so that he misses you, right? And then he will want to chase you a little bit more. So that these things are very telling. You know, you want to be like a detective with somebody when you're dating. You want to be a detective. You want to throw things out and see how they handle it, and then you're watching that person like a hawk. Remember, it's the Bachelorette. The Bachelorette is picking from among many people. So she's rather watching. You watch each guy and see who he really is and what's really, really going on.
Yeah, that is completely 100% in line with everything I teach, where you just want to watch a man rather than, and you get to choose among all the men that are interested in you, right? That puts you, and I see you giving me a thumbs up. I love it. Yeah, that puts you in a place of power where you have options, and it's not a game, and it's not like, you know, I'm a queen on a pedestal, you need to treat me like a prize. You don't even have to say that. It's just this energy when you know you have options. It's just the energy you're giving off, right?
That's it, exactly. It's in the vibe. It's totally in the vibe. Well, that's why I love the dating program with 3, because you really do have options. You know, Joe doesn't text you, Larry does. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Waiting for Joe. You know, but most women actually will say, I can't even find one good guy to date, you know, which is a whole other show. But
yeah, you know, I mean, just quickly, if you want to touch on that, because that is something I hear a lot of times as well. Do you have anything to say for a woman in that situation?
yeah, well, I mean, number one, you want to optimize your profile, your photo, your online photo, your app photo has to really pop. Make sure it pops. You know, make sure you're wearing red scoop top, looking at the camera, smiling. You know, with your energy coming through in a very loving, warm way. Research shows that men rate women who are wearing red and who are smiling at the camera very warmly as more beautiful. And they're very, very visual. So you're going to get more men to choose from. Also in your profile, make sure that you start with some very beautiful, warm qualities that you have. I have a laugh that makes people, happy, they say, or whatever it is, but something that's warmth. So if you have the beauty in the picture and the warmth, you're going to get more people, more guys to choose from, in your bachelorette process.
I totally agree. Yes, I wrote a whole newsletter or blog post on that once, like what men are looking for in your online dating pictures and profile. I totally agree with all of that. Let's see. One always has options. There are lots of loving, available men ready to step up. I totally agree. Quantum dating equals collecting data. I love that, collecting information about, right?
Love that. Thank you so much. I love that. Dating, collecting data.
Because a lot of times what I see is a woman gets attached to one particular man, right? She gets attached to one guy, and then rather than just watching him, she starts trying to steer things in a certain direction. That's when I get questions like, how do I get him to step up? How do I make him contact me more? And if that early on, you're trying to get a guy to do something, it's like he's showing you who he is as clearly as he possibly can. So like I said, don't glue yourself to it. Don't become exclusive with the guy unless he's doing, making you feel good and meeting your needs. Or if you express those needs or boundaries, he wants to honor them. You're just at a stage where you're watching him often, right?
I love it. Yes. And there are 3 criteria. That you want to look at in terms of allowing anybody to be dating you. Number 1, is he crazy about me? Now, what does that mean? Is he eager to see me, reluctant to leave me? Does he think I'm very special, right? Is he willing to wait or work for me, right? So is he crazy about me? Number 2, is he willing to grow? There's no perfect guy, but if he's crazy about you and willing to grow, he's been in growth courses, or he's had mentors, or he's been in therapy, or he's self-reflective, he could be amazing. He could grow into an amazing guy for you. And number 3, is he meeting the basics? Does he have the same values and goals that you have, right? Is he, is there some chemistry and that kind of thing? But you notice that the first question is he crazy about me?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I have to tell you, and I didn't even know that you had those criteria. Yeah, I have something similar where is his energy coming towards you consistently? And it's really the exact exact same thing, right? If his energy is not coming towards you, he could be the most brilliant, gorgeous, successful, funny guy in the world, but he doesn't even qualify to get to spend any time with you at all, from my perspective. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I love that. He does not qualify to get to spend any time with you at all. I love it.
Great. Yeah. And we had a couple questions. I also wanted to address this idea of sexual exclusivity. Like, so you said you're dating 3 men, you're not at least, right? Not sleeping with any of them. What happens when it does get to that point? Like, do you tie sex and exclusivity together, or would you recommend that? I know a lot of experts say you can be sleeping with one guy, but not exclusive yet until you know he's committed. I mean, there's all kinds of options here. What's your take on that?
Well, I mean, I don't go for this business. So you're sleeping with God, and friends with benefits and all that stuff. And it gets all kind of, blurry. And because, we're wired to actually fall in love with someone we're having sex with. We're really wired for that, and to bond to them and need them.
As
really
women, especially. Yeah, as women, especially.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't recommend that. I think, if the guy's pressing for sex and things are going well, and you're getting that 2 months of consistently improving contact, you can tell him, listen, great things are worth waiting for, and leave it vague. But really wonderful, yummy things are worth waiting for.
Yeah, I like that, staying kind of open and receptive to him, rather than like, no, I don't sleep with a guy unless we're in an exclusive relationship. It's like giving him something he can get later if he continues to pursue you, right? That is very attractive, and he'll also respect that, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes.
Great. This is awesome. You guys, if you have any questions for us, we would love to answer. I got a lot of questions at the beginning, like, why do men do this? Why is this everybody's experience these days? I'd love to hear your take on that.
Well, I think that, it's the zeitgeist of fantasy. It's a fantasy. There's actually a lot of fantasy going on with people having this fantasy of having many, 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 many people to choose from. And it's not true. It's just because you're looking at your phone and there seems to be that many people. That's not really true, but there's a fantasy of that. So a lot of guys are in fantasy. And also that whole business with the video gaming and all that stuff, and it actually is very confusing to the brain. In other words, the brain actually, can't process so many choices. And it just, I think it actually takes people out of real relationships. So you got to like navigate that. You got to really navigate that and not take it personally. Just not take it personally.
Not taking it personally is totally key, right? And I know your exercise that you're about to share at the end is going to really help everyone with that. I would love to hear, do you have like a favorite client story? Again, I know you've worked with a lot of really high profile people. Any like maybe an example of someone that you worked with and took them through this process?
Yeah, well, we've had many, many, many clients, because I have a team of love mentor coaches who work with tens of thousands of people all over the world, actually. So we have so many cases. But I'm just thinking of one of my own personal cases. Very, very interesting. This was a woman actually in her late 40s, and she was amazing. She was a nurse. She was gorgeous, but had never been married. So she was kind of overly picky. She was very, very picky, and herself was kind of backing off from guys. And so we looked at her pattern of doing this kind of ghosting thing. It's not just guys. But really removing herself. We looked at her pattern, her own pattern, and she understood what she was doing, and she started giving some guys a chance. And we looked at, what's interesting, there's actually research on the marrying kind of guys. Did you know that? There's research on the marrying kind of men.
I'd love to hear some more about that. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Marrying kind of guys actually they tend to come from intact families. The parents are not divorced, and the parents actually have a religious or spiritual practice. And the guy often has a religious or spiritual practice. And also he thinks of marriage as a good thing. If you ask him, is marriage beneficial to guys, he will say yes. He doesn't go around saying, oh my God, my friend got married, the poor sucker. Oh, this one got married. Oh my God, it's horrible. He doesn't say
Yeah, I'm laughing over here because, yeah, I've found that men who say things like that, they're very vocal about it. They're very upfront. Like, well, I don't think humans are cut out for monogamy, or I don't believe you could be with one person happy with them for the rest of your life. They'll pretty much tell you right up front. But a lot of times what happens is we get attached to them and we don't want to hear what they're trying to tell us. We don't want to hear what they're saying because we think, oh, well, maybe I can change his mind, or if I was good enough or pretty enough, he would want marriage with me, right? Do you see that as well?
Absolutely. They hang in there and they think they can actually change him, and they can't. You got to listen to what the person's saying, you know. Anyway, so I taught this woman about the marrying kind of guys, and she was dating different people, and she wound up meeting a really great guy who was a lawyer, who was also a surfer too. He was really fantastic, really great looking, and a wonderful lawyer and everything. And they had a fantastic coming together. And don't you know, he backed off from her and started breadcrumbing her. So what we did was we worked with this exercise that we're going to teach everybody today, right? Which I call the diamond self exercise. We worked with the diamond self exercise, and she named herself the beloved chosen goddess. Because you give yourself a nickname, which is a very empowering nickname. It helps you be the bachelorette, right? And so she gave herself that nickname, and she just started dating lots of other guys, actually, and allowing good guys to really be dating her, which is fantastic. Very, very important, you know, the good guys. And she had pulled away from this guy who was breadcrumbing her. Now, I know I mentioned that earlier, that you could pull away. Well, he got wise. He realized that he had lost something amazing, and he went after her all the way. He really went after her all the way, and now they're happily married. They have an amazing life, just an amazing life. Beautiful home, you know, with a garden she tends, and it's fantastic, just fantastic.
Wow, that's such an amazing story. So sometimes the guy steps up, right? But you have to like give him that opportunity by taking a stand for what you want, right? Creating that space. What I'm hearing you say is you're kind of putting your desire for what you want, a real committed relationship, sort of ahead of your desire to just be with this one particular man. Do I have that right?
Yes, yeah. We call that making a love intention. You know, I create a amazing, magical, fulfilling love relationship with children, and happy adventures, small and large. It's a love intention. It's a full statement of what you're up to creating in your love life, you know.
I love it. Yeah, everyone's just checking in. Everyone's saying yes. Yes, Dee has a question. She thinks, would a man not trust me if I didn't want to become intimate with him and I wasn't interested in being exclusive by 2 months? Would that cause a man to not trust her? Any thoughts on that?
Well, the thing is that a winner guy will understand that he's got to take things slow. A winner guy is going to understand that he's got to work to win you, right? And a winner guy will notice that you're actually being upfront. You know, it's when you're caught in a secret, in a lie, and having a secret, that people don't trust you. We're actually being upfront, and when you're having straight talk and you're being upfront with somebody, they tend to trust you more because they get that you're being real. Do you know what I'm saying?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I always talk about like if what you're saying on the outside is not congruent with what you're feeling on the inside, a man will feel like they can't trust you, right? So yeah, better to be upfront. Absolutely. I'm such a fan of very direct, straightforward communication. We also had an earlier question right at the beginning about tips on what to do if you're nervous before a date, like if you're going on a bunch of first dates. And I have a feeling you probably have a lot to say on that.
I do. I do. Okay, so we're going to do what I call the diamond self exercise a little bit later, and that's an exercise where you're going to give yourself an extraordinary nickname, a really fun nickname that is a protective nickname that stops you from feeling abandoned or sad or heartbroken when people ghost you or breadcrumb you. And so you're going to have a name like beloved, chosen goddess, or vivacious vixen, saucy minx, beloved mighty Isis, amazing grace, something that you really play with and have fun with. And then you dress the part. You actually dress the part, right? So you go shopping and you get yourself some clothes that reflect the saucy minx or the vivacious vixen. And before a date, I want you to practice saying, I am the saucy minx, or I am the vivacious vixen, and put those clothes on that actually reflect that. In other words, you might have like a gorgeous red, wrap dress or something that is the diamond self. And there are many other things to do, but that is really, really, really powerful. Really, really, really powerful. Also, in general, when you're nervous, it's really great to put your attention out on something else. Your full attention, because nervousness has to do with putting your attention on you. Like, oh, I'm going to say the stupidest thing. Oh my God, I'm going to make an error. Oh my God, I'm going to do the stupidest thing. Oh, but if you take your attention and you put it on whoever you're with or your surroundings, like, oh, wow, that, you meet the guy, you look at his shirt. That shirt is cool. That black shirt is very cool. Now you're putting your attention out, that then leads to appreciation, and it leads you to relax. It really does. I have a whole section in Love in 90 Days about how to handle shyness. And put yourself into your real diamond self charisma. It's amazing when you do this. It's mind blowing.
So great. Yeah, I'm just loving the chat. Everyone's saying yes, so true, so empowering. More women need to hear this. Ingrid Wonder Woman, yes, you guys, what is your name for yourself? Type it in. We would love to hear it. We would love to hear it. I did want to ask one last question before we get into the next thing and talk about your book and everything. What would you say to a woman who keeps attracting this kind of man? I've certainly been there myself. Most women that kind of come to me and are drawn to this work have a pattern of attracting men who are kind of unavailable in some way, or they end up breadcrumbing them or ghosting. And is there something that they can do to start to turn this around quickly? Of course, I have my own ideas about this, but I would love to hear your perspective.
Well, one thing you could do is to date against type. Date against type. In other words, if your type is the tall, handsome, dark guy, date against type. Go with a little shorter blonde guy who's and also, practice being around guys who treat you well, even if they're not the one. Practice so that you actually learn what it's like to be treated really well.
I completely agree. I always say you need to experience what it feels like for a man's energy to be coming towards you. And if that's not familiar to you, you need to start changing what feels familiar, because I think we're always being pulled towards what feels familiar. I think there's a lot of scientific reasons for that. I'm sure you obviously probably have so much to say on that too. But yeah, start. I believe that you can actually change the type of man you're attracted to. I completely.
Oh, absolutely. Right? Helen, I just think that's so important, and it's happened so many times. And honestly, love almost always comes in a surprise package.
I totally agree. My clients who end up with men who are not like that normal type, who always broke their heart, they always say the same thing. They say, sorry, my hair keeps getting tangled in this mic today. It's driving me nuts. I keep getting distracted. Yeah, they always say that, I'm more attracted to my man that, that they call in than any other man. But at first, I didn't really know how great he was. Like the attraction and chemistry grew for them over time. It wasn't this like instant chemistry that might be hooked up with all their subconscious patterns of like what love felt like to them earlier in life, right? So they are really attracted to the man they end up with, but at first he was a little unfamiliar. That's certainly what I have found in working with so many women. What do you have to say on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. You want to date against type, and you want to see what it's really like to be loved fully, to be given to be nurtured, to be adored, actually. And, you're doing a dating program of 3, you make sure that one of those guys at least is doing that, even if he's not your type. In the dating program of 3, we actually rank order the guys 1, 2, and 3. So maybe he's your number 3 guy, but you're practicing, so he holds the umbrella over you, and he walks you, in the rain, and he, brings you the perfect rose, and, and you learn what that feels like. And there's magic in that. There's magic in what can happen.
I totally agree. Yeah. So Melissa, I hope that answered your question. She said, what if you're not physically attracted to the ones that are against your type? My attraction doesn't grow. To me, for us women, attraction and intimacy can grow when you, like, here's an example of something I have a client do who were like, I'm just not attracted to the nice guys, right? You need to open up to them in baby steps, right? Be vulnerable, start showing them who you are, and see how they love you and accept you exactly as you are. They don't want to change a single thing about you. They're not going anywhere. That's one way you can start actually building real intimacy. Not this superficial chemistry that burns out over time, but real chemistry, I believe, can be created by doing simple things like that. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And also, I think it's important to turn on the most important person, who is you. So before a date with a nice guy, put on your sexiest lingerie and look really, really hot, and look at yourself and feel turned on to yourself, right? You start with that vibe. Also, see the nice guy in his element. Go see him give a speech. See him, arguing a case in court or whatever he's doing. See him running in a marathon. When you see the guy in his element, you suddenly can become very attracted to him, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're definitely not saying that you have to end up with some guy you're not attracted to or who you find boring. You won't be able to take your hands off him. Seriously, truly. Like, that was my experience. And like what I see, like, you will be so attracted to him if it's truly the right match. So yeah, don't think that we're saying you have to just pick some guy who's boring and not attractive. Yeah. Obviously, if the chemistry isn't growing over time, you might not be the right match. So you don't want to dig yourself in, right? So yeah, this is phenomenal. Let's see. Yeah, great questions, everyone. Let's jump in. I'm with a man that adores me. He's a lot older than me. He has a lot of health problems. I've lost attraction, and it sounds like they're not intimate anymore. Any tips for Marissa?
Well, when you've got a health issue, you have to find other ways around the sexual contact. See if you can find other ways to pleasure him and to have him pleasure you. Make sure that you have some sexual contact going on, because that's going to keep that bond and also help you feel good around each other. So really be creative with that. Really be creative. Think it through. And make that happen, and see how you can affect the relationship. And then if it doesn't work, then you may have to move on.
Yeah. I've been hearing a lot of questions just like that recently, so I wanted to include that one. Let's talk about your book for a second. Love in 90 Days. This is an amazing book. I know it's helped tens of thousands of women attract their soulmate quickly, right? Including some celebrities, and I know it's been featured in the Wall Street Journal and on the Today Show. Tell me about your book. And we do want to mention that right now, Dr. Diana is offering over $1,000 worth of bonus gifts when you order the book, and one, I contributed to that. I have one of the gifts is from me. So would love to hear anything you have to say about the book.
Yeah, well, it's basically a very, very comprehensive book. Whatever you need to learn about I put in there because of so many years of helping people, tens and tens of thousands of people. So it has a very, very unique approach. You figure out your dead end patterns, you know, whether it's being a hermit or being picky, or I'll make you love me, or the flame out, you know, these patterns. You do the diamond self work, and we're going to do a little diamond self work now, where you empower yourself. You break free of those patterns where you're winding up being ghosted, you're winding up being breadcrumbed, the guy is dumping you. You break free. You know, you're able to become the bachelorette of your life. I mean, I don't call it that in the book, but that's really what it is. And you date your 3 guys, and you find your soulmate, and it's pretty magical. It's a pretty magical process for most of the people who have really used the process, you know. So it's just really great. Even Hoda Kotb of the Today Show used the program, and she is in a wonderful relationship.
Amazing. Yes. If you guys want to learn more about it, there's a link right now in the description. So you just close the live chat. If you're on a phone, click the link. You can go, you know, get the free bonus gifts that come with it, over $1,000 worth of gifts with lots of other experts, many of whom you guys know and love. They've had a couple of them on my channel, and just, you have some amazing free gifts for everybody. So everyone go sign up for that. Get the book. It's in the description right now. I'll also post a link in the comment section too. So let's jump into this exercise. I'm so excited for this.
Yes. Okay, everybody. So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to remember a time when you felt really, really good about yourself. And it could have been when you were much younger. It could have been when you were a teenager, early teenager, when you first felt you were attractive, or even as a child. Close your eyes and remember that time, and remember a scene where you felt really good about yourself, and put yourself in the scene so you're looking through your own eyes. And now I want you to make it 5 times better, 5 times better. So you're feeling really, really good in the scene, and you're seeing all the sights of the scene, feeling the good feelings, the sounds, the beautiful sounds. You may want to give it a soundtrack. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so now this is your diamond self-identity. And I want you to give it a nickname. I know one of you in the audience is using Wonder Woman, but really play with it. Vivacious, beloved Wonder Woman of love. Could be. Or the beautiful goddess of irresistible light. Something may occur to you. Amazing grace. Beloved rose. Goddess, chosen goddess. Irresistible one. Superstar. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just go with whatever comes to mind. Go with whatever comes to mind. And now let's shrink that diamond self down to the size of a diamond, and we'll put it aside in your mind, and get an image of yourself when you felt rejected or abandoned or sad or disappointed in yourself. Good, good, good. Now take that little diamond that's off to the side, make it into a hand grenade, and throw it right into the center of the disappointing self, and blow it up into smithereens so there's nothing there. Just blow it right up in your mind. Good, good, good. Blow up that shyness, that fear, that self-sabotage. And do that 5 more times very, very rapidly. Take that diamond self grenade, blow up the disappointing self very rapidly, 5 times. Good, good, good. Okay, very good. Now open your eyes. Now, if you can, I'd like you to say this out loud, but if you're in a place where you can't, You can just write it down. You can say, I am, and say, use your diamond self name. I am the amazing Wonder Woman of love. I am the irresistible goddess who is chosen. I am the saucy minx. I am beloved mighty Isis. How does that feel?
Amazing. I was just, I had the camera on you that whole time. Wow, I feel so good just doing that. Amazing. What was your experience? Everyone, type it into the chat. Marissa says, loving this. Let us know what experiences you had with this and what name you chose for yourself. Veronica says, this feels great. Amazing, amazing. Let's see, empowering. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, what does this do? What does this do? When should a woman be doing this?
Well, you want to be doing this a fair amount just for yourself, because the brain, look, the brain doesn't have any fixed neural net that represents your identity. If you looked at the brain, the part of the brain that represents your identity, you would see that it is like a light show. All the neurons will be lighting up and changing all the time. Well, what that means is you can deliberately change your identity. You can change that by deciding who you want to be. You don't have to just be, you know, who your parents named you to be. You don't have to be who anybody thinks you are or should be. You can be exactly who you choose to be, and you can be in alignment with who you really are. When we did that exercise about when you were feeling good, that's the real you. That's the real you, right? It's the real you before other people were wounding, before other people were hurting you, before other people ghosted or breadcrumbed you or left you. That's the real you. And you can take that you and you can embrace it, that beautiful diamond self that you are. And you can embrace that. And you can say, this is who I am.
So beautiful. Yeah, people are saying, I'm the beautiful goddess of light. I felt magic. Love this. I felt magic too. Melissa says it was very lightening. Amazing. Yeah, I do want to clarify one thing coming through, because we want to be super, super clear about this. Sorry, there's a loud truck outside. I hope the mic isn't picking up on it. I think it might be, though. People are saying, you know, attraction's important to me. I can't pretend to like someone I'm not attracted to. And this is not about pretending. It's not about ending up with someone you're not attracted to. Here's my take on this, and then I would love to hear what you have to say. If the only men you're attracted to are men who are breadcrumbing you, ghosting you, end up pulling away, breaking your heart, making you feel bad about yourself, there's something there that needs to shift within yourself so you can actually start being attracted to the kind of men who won't do that. So that's what a lot of my books and work is about, and I imagine you too, Dr. Diana. It's not about just pretending you like some guy and hoping.
No, you can't. You cannot pretend. You cannot pretend. You absolutely cannot pretend. It will not work. It's got to be real. And what you actually want to do is make it happen. And if you can't make it happen with a good guy, you move on. But you want to try to make it happen and find a part of him that's sexy. Put him in some tight jeans. Tell him to wear some tight jeans. Tell him to wear something that turns you on. You know, see him in his element. See if the magic happens. If the magic happens, you're home free because you got somebody who's a best friend who you can be really turned on to. That Absolutely. Would be the ideal, you know, that's the ideal. You want to have someone who's your best friend, who adores you, who you're hot for. And holding that as your ideal, that is the ideal that your diamond self deserves. That is the ideal that the beautiful, sparkalicious Wonder Woman deserves, right?
I totally agree. Yeah, 100%.
And to make him manifest, he will manifest. It may not look like it's him when you first meet him. You may not realize it's him when the guy comes to you. You may think, oh, I'm not turned on, or you may not realize it, but it is him. You just have to see it and understand it.
And you will be so attracted to him. So I've just seen it happen over and over. Like
Yeah.
it really works. So to go, oh my God, thank you. Wow, I used to feel really good. I almost forgot. Thank you. I am the vivacious vixen of irresistibility. Love it. Yes, you decide what you want to be. That's great. I felt this way too when I listened to music. Someone asked, what if your husband is breadcrumbing you? What if you're married to a man and this is happening?
Well, if you're married and he's breadcrumbing you, you really have some leverage there. You really, really have some leverage because you can say, you know, look, this is not working for me. You can actually tell him that things are on probation. This is not acceptable to me. My envisioning for my marriage is that I would have a really close, amazing love relationship, and it's not working, you know, so we either have to work on this or I don't know what's going to happen, you know, so you can kind of put that out there. Sometimes a husband who's breadcrumbing is either a workaholic or he could be having an affair. Sometimes that's happening. And it's not good to just put your head in the sand and ignore it. It's best to actually have some straight talk one way or the other, and then see if he will go into some, if he's not willing to change, just immediately possibly go into some coaching or therapy with you. But you have to put your foot down. You can't let that just go on, because it will go on. It will go on for 10 years or more.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just wanted to include that for people who are already in committed relationships or married and they're experiencing this withdrawing. I know it's such a common situation for married women to experience this. So yeah, this was phenomenal, Dr. Diana. Thank you again. Is there any like last words of wisdom that you want to say? And everyone, by the way, please go check out the book. The link is in the description. Sign up, get the bonuses, get love in 90 days. I know it will work for you. It's worked for so many women. So yeah, any last tips or words of wisdom you'd like to leave everyone with?
Yeah, you can all be your own bachelorette. Whether you're married or you're single, you can all be your own diamond self bachelorette. You know, you can give yourself that. And you guys are fantastic. I can see how you're all running with the ball already. You're amazing. You guys who are in Helena's posse, you're incredible.
Yeah, best audience on YouTube. I say like the most intelligent, amazing, high value women. Yeah.
Yeah, they're running, you're running with the ball already, and you can be your own bachelorette and really have that going on and have amazing, amazing, passionate, lasting love. I know you can do it.
Absolutely. I totally agree. You guys, thank you so much for your comments. I feel like dancing now. Ingrid says, thank you. Yes, I'm giving myself that. Best relationship channel. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I'm so happy to have you. This is so much fun. So yeah, thanks again. Anything you want to say about the book too? You guys check it out. Links in the description. Go get.
Well, the new chapter it's called One Simple Secret to Irresistible Self-Confidence. So that that is something that could be very, very handy for them in terms of the diamond self-work.
Yeah, I'd love to have you on again too. I know, we were talking about different topics and you had, irresistible self-confidence was one, healing from heartbreak. I can't remember the others, but they were all phenomenal topics. And I polled my audience and this is the one everyone wanted to hear about. But I would love to have you on again sometime, talk about confidence, talk about healing from heartbreak. Really, anything you have to share, I know would be so valuable. So thank you so much again. Thank you everyone for showing up. And I will... Yeah, I'll see you again soon, Dr. Diana. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Lots of love, everyone.